The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl in 3D is a 2005 American adventure film co-written and directed by Robert Rodriguez and originally released in the United States on June 10, 2005, by Dimension Films and Columbia Pictures. 2. The film uses the anaglyph 3D technology, similar to the one used in Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, 2003. The film stars Taylor Lautner, Taylor Dooley, Cayden Boyd, David Arquette, Kristin Davis, and George Lopez. Many of the concepts and much of the story were conceived by Rodriguez's children. The film received negative reviews from critics, with much of the criticism directed at the film's story and poor 3D. The film also underperformed at the box office, earning just $39 million in the United States and $69.4 million worldwide on a $50 million budget. The special effects were done by Hybride Technologies, CafeFX, The Orphanage, Post-Logic, Hydraulx, Industrial Light, and Magic, Arquette Pictures, Tippett Studio, Amalgamated Pixels, Intelligent Creatures, and Troublemaker Digital. A standalone sequel, We Can Be Heroes, will be released to Netflix on January 1, 2021, with Dooley reprising her role, but Lautner not returning. Max is a 10-year-old lonely child in the suburbs of Austin who creates an imaginary dream world named Planet Drool, where all of his dreams come to life. He creates two characters, Sharkboy, who was raised by sharks after losing his father, who was a marine biologist, at sea and became a shark hybrid himself, and Lavagirl, who can produce fire and lava, but has trouble touching objects without setting them on fire. The two left Max to guard Planet Drool. In reality, Max's parents have little time for him, and their marriage is not going well. Max is also bullied by his fellow classmate Linus. However, he does receive friendship from Marissa, the daughter of his teacher Mr. Electricidad. After a chase, Linus steals Max's dream journal and vandalizes it. The next day, as Max attempts to retaliate, twin tornadoes form outside the school. Sharkboy and Lavagirl emerge from the tornadoes and have Max accompany them to Planet Drool, which he learns is turning bad thanks to Mr. Electric, a robot resembling Mr. Electricidad and the dream world's now corrupt electrician, under the orders of an unknown mastermind. They confront Mr. Electric in his lair, but he drops them into the dream graveyard, where some of Max's dreams have been dumped. They find Tobor, a robot toy that Max never finished building in the real world after being discouraged by his father. Tobor gives them a lift to other parts of the planet. The three form a friendship during their journey, but they face hardships, such as Sharkboy's anger for the oceans being frozen over, and Lavagirl's desperation to find her true purpose on Planet Drool. They are pursued by Mr. Electric and his plughounds across the planet. They plan to visit the Ice Princess and obtain the Crystal Heart, which can freeze time, giving them enough time to get to the center of Planet Drool and fix the dream world using Max's daydreaming. However, they are captured by Mr. Electric and delivered to the mastermind, who is revealed to be Minus, a villain resembling Linus who has altered the dream world with Max's journal and traps the three in a cage. Sharkboy gets annoyed by singing bubbles called La Las and has a shark frenzy, destroying the cage. After they escape, Max retrieves the dream journal from Minus while he is sleeping. Max informs Sharkboy that his father is alive in his book, but when Lavagirl wishes to learn what it says about her true identity, she burns the book to ash. In a rage, Lavagirl asks Max why she is made out of lava, but Sharkboy tells him to let her cool down. Max, Sharkboy, and Lavagirl eventually reach the Ice Princess, who resembles Marissa. She hands over the Crystal Heart, but they are too late to stop the corruption since the Ice Princess is the only one who can use the Crystal Heart's power, and she cannot leave her home. Afterward, Mr. Electric seemingly kills Sharkboy by fooling him into jumping into a water filled with electric eels, which are his weakness, with Lavagirl sacrificing herself by jumping into the water to retrieve him. Tobor appears and convinces Max to dream a better and unselfish dream. Just then, Sharkboy regains consciousness and races Lavagirl to a volcano to revive her. Max concludes that her purpose is as a light against the dark clouds which have engulfed Planet Drool's skies. Max gains reality warping as the daydreamer and defeats Minus, then offers to make a better dream world between the two of them, to which Minus agrees. Minus offers Mr. Electric to return to running Planet Drool, but Mr. Electric reveals that he never enjoyed doing so in the first place. He also informs Max that he made a terrible mistake of dreaming him up and flies to Earth to destroy Max while he is dreaming. Max awakens back in his classroom during the tornado storm. Mr. Electric arrives in the tornado before Max and an astonished Mr. Electricidad. Max's parents are caught in the storm as well but are saved by Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Max gives the crystal heart to Marissa so she can use the Ice Princess's powers to freeze and destroy Mr. Electric. Mr. Electricidad, Linus, and Max make peace with one another, and Max reunites with his parents. Max later informs his class that Planet Drool has become a proper dream world once again. Sharkboy became the king of the ocean, and Lavagirl became queen of the volcanoes, and as the film shows Max finally finishing Tobor, he reminds the class to dream a better dream, and work to make it real. Parts of the film were shot on location in Texas in September to December 2004, where Max resides and goes to school in the film. Much of the film was shot in a studio against green screen. Most of the ships, landscapes and other effects including some creatures and characters, were accomplished digitally. According to Lautner and Dooley, when filming the scene with the dream train, the front part of the train was an actual physical set piece. The hole inside was there and when they have all the gadgets you can pull on, that was all there but everything else was a green screen, said Dooley. 10. 11 visual effects companies, Hybride Technologies, CafeFX, The Orphanage, PostLogic, Hydraulx, Industrial Light, and Magic, Arquette Pictures, Tippett Studio, Amalgamated Pixels and Intelligent Creatures and Rodriguez's Texas-based Troublemaker Digital, worked on the film in order to accomplish over 1,000 visual effects shots. 11. Robert Rodriguez appears in the credits 14 times, most notably as director, a producer, a screenwriter, along with Marcel Rodriguez, visual effects supervisor, director of photography, editor, a camera operator, and a composer and performer. The story is credited to racer Max Rodriguez, with additional story elements by Rebecca Rodriguez, who also wrote the lyrics for the main song, Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Other members of the Rodriguez family can be seen in the film or were involved in the production. Miley Cyrus had auditioned for the film with Lautner, and said it came down to her and another girl who was also auditioning. However, Cyrus then began production on Hannah Montana, and thus the other girl, supposedly Dooley, got the role. 12. The film holds a 19% rating on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes based on 124 reviews, with an average rating of 4.33. The consensus reads, "The decision to turn this kiddie fantasy into a 3D film was a miscalculation." 13. Roger Ebert gave the film 2 out of 4 stars and agreed with the other criticisms in which the 3D process used was distracting and muted the colors, thus, he believes, spoiling much of the film and that the film would look more visually appealing when released in the home media market. 14.